It's morning here in Austin. I'm so glad that you have taken the time to join me wherever you're at, whatever time of day or night it is. I'm honored that you would spend some time with me today. I'm going to tell you a brief story about a great friend of mine. And we were in our group meeting the other night, and I'm not going to share his real name. We'll call him Jason. He has become a great brother to me. I love him to death. And I could not be a proponent of group work if I wasn't doing group work myself. You can find groups that are specific to unfaithful spouses or betrayed spouses, or even couples who are trying to heal from infidelity at our website, affairrecovery.com. I'm in groups for me. I love group work. When you find the right group and the right people and the right process, it's fantastic. And the other night, Jason was sharing about a revelation that he had. And he said, I'll never forget it. He said, I've come to the realization that I need a lot of help. And this is where it really gets good, it's okay that I need a lot of help. And we provide feedback at times. And I just said, Jason, I got to tell you, that's probably one of the most encouraging, uplifting, and meaningful things I've heard you say in the last year and a half or so. And I hope it's okay that I borrow that. And he was like, yeah, sure, it's fine. Now, I'll tell you, at the time, Jason had no idea how meaningful or poignant that moment would be, because I think it paints a picture that all of us need to come to the realization of, which is we all need a lot of help. And when we say we don't need a lot of help, I think we reveal a little bit of maybe self-righteousness, maybe blinders, maybe pride, maybe arrogance. Because if you're an unfaithful and you say, I don't really need any help, or I don't need a lot of help, it's kind of like, look, you just blew up your marriage or your relationship. I'm pretty sure you need a lot of help. If you are a betrayed and you say, I don't really need a lot of help, this was their issue, my retort to you is, well, wait a minute. You've just been traumatized and devastated and had your life flipped upside down. I'm pretty sure you need a lot of help to heal because you have been traumatized. To think that you don't is maybe to minimize the impact of what you've been through. And my friend, being betrayed is awful. You're going to need a lot of help. The next part of that is the understanding that, and it's okay that we need a lot of help. You see, we're such tough guys. We're such tough women. We think we don't need a lot of help, and it's bad if we do need a lot of help, and that's just not true. The reality is we're all messed up. I talk to therapists who are $400 an hour therapists. They're working through their own stuff. I always love a therapist that has the honesty, the vulnerability to tell me, Sam, look, I'm a pretty well-established therapist. I have a waiting list of several months. I deal with people all over the map, and I'm doing my own work. That's a therapist I love. That's a therapist I want to work with. Someone that owns their own stuff, that is maybe even in therapy themselves. So here's some thoughts. Why is it not okay for us to need a lot of help? Why is it not okay for us to just need help in general? Here's some thoughts for you. Number one, we hate to be seen as weak or vulnerable. We want to be seen as complete and tough and solid and strong and good to go. We don't want to be perceived as lacking. We don't want to be perceived as incomplete. And we want to maintain our image because we're image managers. I love, and it's typically a betrayed, but I hear it from lots of unfaithful. I love when they will say, you know what, Sam, I don't really care. I just want to get help. You guys can see me cry, weep. I don't care. I just want to get healthy. They're so done with their image. They just want to be whole. Next, we have this can-do attitude, right? Let's YouTube it. No offense. You're on YouTube. You're listening to me. I'm so glad you're here. But I am not the totality of your repair work. I am not. And I would never present myself to be that. But I want to be a support system. I want to be the best friend I can be through this camera. I interact with many of you through comments, whether it be on affairrecovery.com or here on YouTube or even Twitter or even Instagram. These videos are one of the greatest honors of my entire life that I fell into. I am honored, humbled, more than you would know, to be able to do what I get to do. But it is not and will never be the end all to repair work from infidelity or addiction. Next is, we just have so much pride. We just are so resistant to getting help and humbling ourselves and admitting that maybe we don't have the answers. Listen, if you are continuing to bump up against your partner or even your therapist or people that are coaches or whatever that are in your life trying to help you and they're quality people, listen, the problem is not them. The problem just might be you. And I'll never forget the quintessential phrase that Rick said to me when I was just this arrogant, narcissistic punk who was still trying to act like he was somebody, even though he was a complete train wreck. He said, "Sam, have you considered the possibility that maybe you're not seeing things the way they are?" That was a very nice way of saying, "Sam, pull your head out of your butt. You are missing it. Things are not the way that you think they are." Next is, we're just afraid. We're afraid of being seen as vulnerable. We're afraid of maybe being seen as weak. We're afraid of being seen as though we don't have it all together. We are afraid. We're afraid of being rejected. We're afraid of being abandoned. We're afraid, and this may resonate with you, we are afraid of having someone know what's inside of us and abandon us. I can tell you personally, I've had to share some things with my therapist that were absolutely just painful. I was terrified to share them with him for how he would look at me. Yes, okay, I myself struggled with that. I have found so much healing, so much restoration, so much acceptance by sharing some things that needed to be shared. I've had to address some things in my life. I couldn't do it on my own. I couldn't have a therapy session with myself to get at these things because I couldn't see them. And I promise you, you are not seeing some things that you need to see. And the right help, the right people, the right process are going to help you see these things and address them. The right people will never shame you, humiliate you, and use it as a weapon against you. They will be safe to say, "Listen, I'm here to help you heal and to move through this so that this doesn't have to imprison you anymore." Finally, I think one of the biggest things too is we are avoidant. We just want to avoid. We want to stay busy so we don't have to feel. We want to take part in hobbies or working 60 hours a week or staying incredibly busy because as long as we're busy, we don't have to feel, because when we feel, we hurt, and when we hurt, we get sad, and when we get sad, we do stupid things. And we're avoidant. We just are. Regardless of what personality type you might be, regardless of what attachment style you might be, I have learned we are just avoidant, and we would rather avoid than heal. And I will tell you, I know the road that avoidance brings. It appears to be a problem solver. It appears to be the road that we want to take. It appears to offer relief and hope and healing. It doesn't. It's a wandering road. It takes us down what appears to be beautiful, what appears to be inviting. But at the end, it is not just a dead end. It is an end filled with hurt and frustration and compounding pain, compounding trauma. Listen, it takes an incredible amount of bravery to not avoid, but to feel, to engage. And I'm not saying that overnight you're just going to go, boom, I'm going to engage all this trauma. No, no, no. If you can take a step towards it today, maybe it's calling a therapist, maybe it's researching a therapist, maybe it's asking someone like me that you can trust to find a resource that can help you. Maybe it's reading materials or resources, go to our website. Try to take a step towards it today. I promise you, you'll be uncomfortable, but you'll actually be gaining ground. To continue to avoid only compounds the pain in your relationship or your marriage or in yourself. I specialize in avoiding. I have been a workaholic time and time again during different seasons of my life. I have learned most of the time it was to avoid. And just hear my appeal with you today. Avoidance will get you nowhere. Avoidance is a road that promises to please, promises to comfort, and only leaves you high and dry. It only adds more pain. Take a step today. Be brave. Be courageous. You are worth the bravery that it will require of you to move towards your pain, towards your hurt, towards your uncertainty. You can do it, I promise you. If I can do it, you can do it. Avoidance will not get you anywhere you want to go.